Bosses are always highlights of any good video game. Boss music elevates nearly every boss and makes them so much more memorable. So what would it be like if instead of bosses fighting us, what if we made them fight each other? Who will be the boss of bosses when it comes down to their music and their themes? I've gathered 14 community suggested boss themes, and originally I was just going to talk about them, but no, these bosses deserve to suffer, just like they've made us suffer. Who will be the winner? Let's find out. First up is Meta Ridley from Metroid Prime versus Picayune Dreams from Occultation. I have not heard either one of these, so this is going to be interesting. Metroid Prime up first. That's cool. It's incredible, really. This piece is very tense. Now, obviously, all of these pieces are going to be tense. It's a boss battle theme video. But one of the things that's most interesting to me about this is that you actually hear Meta Ridley's actual sound, almost like their speaking voice, like shouting out or yelling at Samus, or there's a shouted quality in there in the music, which makes it feel like it's less so about Samus and much more about Ridley. I don't even know what Meta Ridley is. That kind of goes over my head there in terms of the experiences with Metroid. But what I would say is that this has this constant propulsion, which makes sense for a boss theme. And on top of that, it has this ever-present feeling of almost like Meta Ridley. And I'm pretty sure Meta Ridley is morphed from a different version of itself or something. And there's a real crying out and almost like the impulsive need to fight Samus is really present there. Yeah, I'm curious to see how it will compare with something in a totally different genre. This is a Occultation Boss 4 theme from Picayune Dream. Man, that piano pops. Yeah, you know, but this one's really interesting because the way that it builds up in tension, obviously there's a drum and bass pattern in there. I think musically this is more interesting. However, Meta Ridley piece is a little bit more desperate, a little bit more agitated. What I really like about this particular piece as well, just as an aside, is the fact that the choral section of this is actually the boss idea. Like, we do get the sort of frenetic energy of the drum and bass and the EDM stuff in the lower half of this, but really what ends up coming across is the desperation as well, and the forward momentum in the left hand, as it were. Each of the little repeats have this beautiful choral moment where it's like that is a really fun thing to feel when you're like driving forward, especially when you're considering a boss theme. I do think that the winner of this round is Meta Ridley, because I feel like there's a little bit more of a sense of stress and agitation in that piece. I like this one more for listening for my own like preference, but for what I think like the scope of this is, like who's the best boss theme of this list, I do think that it goes to Meta Ridley, just because there's much more tension in that sound. It's not to say that a boss theme needs to have tension in order for it to be good or perfect. Obviously nuance is really important, but yeah, for me, I'm going to give it to Meta Ridley in this particular case. Our next matchup is Persona 3 Reload, The Battle for Everyone's Soul, and Shadow of the Colossus, A Despair-Filled Farewell. Now, in the past, I have mentioned that I'm not necessarily crazy about Persona's music, and obviously with my former professional opera singer background, naturally I'm going to gravitate towards the orchestral music of Shadow of the Colossus, but I will do my best to be as objective as possible. So, Persona 3 Reload, The Battle for Everyone's Soul is up first. Nice repeat there. Nice set. Nice. Really nice descent there. Da-da. Cool. Wow, I love how desperate this sounds. Like, very emotional. Hey, isn't that the Violet Room? Yeah, it's a remix of Violet Room. Yeah, it is. Gorgeous strings back there. Yeah. That's really enjoyable. I think it's Persona 5 I really don't like the music of. I'm not crazy about acid jazz. I had heard music from Persona 4 and I'd heard a little bit of Persona 3's music, and I thought I kind of lumped them all together with Persona 5. I'll take accountability for that and say my bad for not knowing your game, Persona. I'm sorry. This was terrific. The sense of forward momentum was there, much like all these boss themes are going to have, supposedly. Velvet Room sound in there, repeating that. It definitely has that soprano. Obviously, there's a classical bass there that really makes me happy, but on top of that, I really appreciated that there was a sense of urgency in that sound, and it felt like we were reaching like a point of no return, which obviously makes sense. It's a final wash of, it's a boss theme, potentially the final boss. I don't actually know. So there's a quality in that of like, oh no, like there's almost a desperation in there, and it feels like our backs are actually against the wall. So instead of feeling like, hey, we can accomplish something, it actually feels like, I don't know that we can accomplish something. And I think the difference there between concern and knowledge in music and the way that it sounds is really, 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 really fun. It's really, really, really intense. And I appreciated the mixture here of this like sort of EDM electronic mixed in with the heavy electric guitar sound presence, and coupled with that beautiful soprano over top. Really, really excellent boss theme. Next up is Shadow of the Colossus, a despair-filled farewell. I feel like Shadow of the Colossus gets shit on a lot, which is really a shame because Shadow of the Colossus is a fundamentally beautiful and important game, not dissimilarly to Persona 3, I would say. Both games are loved. I think the Persona fan base is much bigger, so naturally there's more eyes on Persona, but like Shadow of the Colossus is a monumentally important and special game that if you've never played before, you should find a way to do so. It's truly terrific. Here's a despair-filled farewell. Yeah. Nice. Love that little accentation in the trumpet. Beautiful trumpets. These strings are exceptional. That's really tough because Shadow of the Colossus here in this particular instance has a lot of the same motivic like ideas, the same sort of propulsion, the same sort of strings in lieu of the soprano. It's very desperate sounding as well, very feeling like your back is against the wall. Here there's a little bit more of an energy of like, I can conquer this, especially with the horns. I mean, there's also a size factor. Like I'm thinking about like a massive Colossus or something. It's tough because in a lot of ways the themes are not dissimilar musically. I liked both equally, and I think that they both brought really, really, really nice uses of expansiveness. My heart says Shadow of the Colossus because I love the vastness of it. Now, I think that the Persona 3 Reload piece is very, very, very tightly composed, well composed, and really structured incredibly well. But for my personal taste, I think a despair-filled farewell has a little bit more edge of loss to it, a little bit more of an edge of desperation, needing to see something through. They both have that, but I think like with the writing style, yeah, it's going to Shadow of the Colossus. Next up is Sonic Heroes, What Am I Made Of versus the grand finale from Mario and Luigi, Bowser's Inside Story. Say what you want, but Sonic and Mario cannot stop fighting or feuding, can they? Let's check out What I'm Made Of from Sonic Heroes first. Like this melody a lot.
Is it me? You say you're looking for? Let me show you who I am and what I'm here for. Here for. Hey, trying to reach inside of me, trying to drain my energy. Let me show you just what I'm made of. Simple curiosity, trying to take a bite of me. Let me show you just what I'm made of now. Like a million faces, I've recognized them all, and one by one they all become a number as they fall. In the face of reason, I can't take no more. One by one they all become a black mark on the floor. Is it me? You say you're looking for? Let me show you who I am and what I have in store. In store. Hey, hey, yeah! Trying to reach inside of me, trying to drain my energy. Let me show you just what I'm made of.
I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't like the singing. I don't like the constant movement in that piece. That's probably the Sonic song I've liked the least. I don't know. There's something about that singing that really bothers me. It sounds almost whiny. It's so syllabic. I actually glazed over when I didn't like that at all. But it could still win. I don't know what's going to happen with the grand finale. Let's check that out. Yeah, actually, you know what's crazy is that this song actually has a lot of heart. This really feels like the two of them, Mario and Luigi, need to bond together. And there's a very clear like, hey, I need you to trust me. I need you to rely on me. We can do this together. I know that he's coming, but like you can hear a whole conversation of like, let's have a moment of being like, okay, look, this is going to be really bad, but there's a chance that it could be good, right? Like there's a possibility that we might make it out or whatever. Especially in the piano. I love that gorgeous piano. Also, there's still momentum. And I'll give the What I'm Made Of as well. There is momentum in that piece. And obviously What I'm Made Of is definitely got some gusto to it. It's got like a feeling of like, okay, we're moving forward. Even in that piece, there is a feeling of like confidence and like Sonic being a badass and like working with the team and making it happen. Like, when I say I don't like it, I don't mean like it's a piece of shit and I literally I hate it with all my, it's not Crash Bandicoot. I'm not going to punch it if I see it out in public. I don't hate Crash Bandicoot. Just to clear it up, I don't hate Crash Bandicoot. Crash Bandicoot is just like, it would definitely be in my like top 10 worst games I ever played list, but not like it's trash or whatever. Anyway, all that to say, it caused me childhood trauma, okay? I think that Mario and Luigi here, the grand finale, definitely has that edge of like, we really need to do this. We really need to focus. We really need to lock in. You know what I mean? And I think like that really is satisfying to me. There's a bonding that's happening there in spite of adversity. And that's what makes it stick out to me. So that's a very clear winner for me. 1,000,000% of that heat. Next up is Mizutsune from Monster Hunter Rise versus Chrono Trigger World Revolution, Lavos' second form. Let's go with Mizutsune first. Oh man, I don't know. I love this track. I love this. The vocals in here are so visceral. Also, the elegance naturally exists in it. Yeah, and this piece does such a great job of showcasing Mizutsune's grace, elegance, and also like the mystery of Mizutsune. It feels like a character. I call it a character because it's a monster, and the monsters in Monster Hunter have like pretty distinct personalities in the ways that they fight and play. Mizutsune has a lot of grace and a lot of elegance in the way that it spins and flits and floats around. It's a monster all about water and bubbles, and it's very colored and very beautiful, and it has a lot of grace. And you hear that in the music, and I think what's really cool is that it's forward moving, but the interesting thing is that the vocals over top as well, the way that they are stretched out and sustained, they're really powerful and really satisfying to listen to. And I think they bring a viscerality to the fight because it is kind of bright and bubbly. So we'll see how that compares to World Revolution, which is Lavos' second form. I actually prefer the first form musically, but let's listen to the World Revolution second form. There's the motif. Da, da, da. Oh. Love that. Yeah, I mean, what's amazing about World Revolution, the Lavos fight in general, but certainly the second form here, is that we have this beautiful mix of tension and the seriousness of the situation with the heroics and the idealism and the lessons learned from our colleagues. Now, Mizutsune has an incredibly beautiful and glorious and mesmerizing perspective, and like it's elegant, and I love how like flowy it is. But in terms of like a boss theme, this really is in line with more what I'm looking for. It's got drama, it's got tension in it, it's got like an inherent feeling of fear, and also then rising up through that fear and saying, no, we're going to come out the other side of this thing. I definitely feel like the Mizutsune theme is really more in line with a character theme, more so than it is with a boss theme per se, even though it's galvanizing. In general, Monster Hunter themes tend to be more about the character. Sometimes they're scary and intimidating, but in general, they're really like describing what the characterization of the monster is. So in this particular case, I have to give it to World Evolution. I think it just strikes the right balance extremely well, mind you, between stress, fear, especially with that organ, dissonant chords there, mixed in with the rapturous like power and joy of friendship, really, of bonding with your friends and pursuing your ideals of those trumpets. It's also an incredible melody. Both are incredible in different ways, but I'm definitely going to give this one to World Revolution. Next up is Lady Maria of the Astral Clock Tower, one of my favorite pieces of video game music to ever exist, and Jurginga Planet Destruction form from the Wonderful 101. I will not be biased. Let's listen to the Wonderful 101 one first. Wow, that's actually amazing. Terrific trumpets. Okay, nice shift. Still heavy at the brass. The trumpets are terrifically popping here. So bright and joyful. Wow. Beautiful doubling there with the voices. Beautiful piano in the background as the strings ascend. Wow. Wonderful unison there with the piano and the trumpets. Really quick shift there into a whole nother. Wow. ba-ba-bum. Bum, bum, ba-ba-bum. Wow. It's so John Williams coded, it's not even funny. Da, da, da. Wonderful middle section here. It really dials it back. Get some nice French horns. Beautiful glissandi with the harp in there in the back. Wow. I love that pause, break there. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'd never heard that before. I enjoyed that immensely. Now, there is some similarity between that and Super Smash Bros. So, you know, the conversation becomes, well, how unique is that really in the scheme of things? Now, it doesn't need to be unique. I mean, it's terrific. It delivers on exactly what, you know, exactly this sound. I feel like if you didn't know what a superhero was and someone played this for you, and let's say you were like, oh, this feels like someone who's got magic or powers or whatever, right? I think you would automatically always default to that. This just has that sound. And it's a really, really, really good rendition of that sound. And it does feel like it's like the John Williams coding is there in spades, and I'm a huge Williams fan. So, you know, no problem there. But can it keep up with and compete with Lady Maria of the Astral Clock Tower? Bells, everything about this piece is just so much terrific dissonance in this. Brass here. Ba, 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 ba. Terrific emphasis on that. Ba, 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 ba. Oh my god. The bells in the distance, my god. It's so cool. Nice setup here. We kind of slow things down. Roll, slow, rallentando. And then... so like released. It's like releasing releasing anger, releasing fear, releasing everything. It's just vengeance, bloody vengeance, you know? Sustained. Everything's moving together in unison with the vocals. You know, I just realized that section there is the sound of the like otherworldly Cthulhu sort of like astral plane. You know, all the failed experiments, the living failures, it's all that stuff. I didn't actually ever put that together. I've listened to this song multiple times, many times. Yeah, I mean, this is a clear winner. I'm sorry. The other track is very good. But this one just has the oomph. These tracks couldn't be more different, and they're really not easily comparable because of how different they are. They're like two sides of the totally like the same coin, but they're two independent sides of it. Both bring their own strengths, I think, but I think for me the anguish and the pain and the outpouring of the music is much more prominent in this particular piece. That's really good. Next up is Travis Strikes Again, No More Heroes, On Your Mark, Get Set, Go, Silverface, versus Pledge of the Demon, Daisuke Kuza's theme from Yakuza 0.
Until the fucking die BOSS からまだまだまだやりたい BOSS Until the fucking die BOSS からまだまだまだやりたい俺はボスです BOSS レペマネックレスかなりシャイ俺ま先生 Teach me fight 諦めないでこれはゲーム Yeah Whoa, scared, それどうやってんのって聞かれても俺にはわからないよ I'm gonna hit you like 神風君が誰でも I feel nothing I feel nothing Why can't I be like that with the silver face I just wanna live my life at my own fucking pace I'm tired of being from the human race Got the judge, but beat the fucking case Why can't I be like this with the silver face Stop it down, put it in their face And my skin so brown, you might think it's chocolate cake But life is sweet, man I'm just getting to the cake I'm the underdog, ignore my fate Never gave a fuck in the first place I'm just getting fucked like a silver face I'm just thinking in that motherfucking record crate That pussy sweet on the first day I ain't had shit on the dinner plate The boss man shit it on my fucking chest plate If you wait too hard, I think I over contemplate On your mark, get set, go, 하시는 수수매 On your mark, get set, go, and no way On your mark, get set, go, 하시는 수수매 On your mark, get set, go, and no way On your mark, get set, go, 하시는 수수매 On your mark, get set, go, and no way On your mark, get set, go, 하시는 수수매 On your mark, get set, go, and no way 世界の終わりは今危ない世界の中 Take your finger off the trigger I'm not really a killer I just came to figure how to make my life better Run away, only one together ここから wanna make it better Marathon with the my bro Marathon with the my bro BOSS 過ぎ過ぎ過ぎ最高安全運転代行酔うわけそれないよ I don't gonna lie よここで俺マゾン Wow, yeah, それどうやってんのって聞かれても俺にはわからないよ I gonna hit you like 神風君が誰でも I feel nothing I feel nothing 右手に勇気左手に愛それいらない欲しいのは自由俺ら走れるとこなら走る君もこれがリアルだと気づくもうそろそろゴールかもよ体力消耗火を消す消防マラソンソロプレイなら5丁疲れた体にコンビニ砂糖間違いこのウォードンハブ言葉赤のバンダナ打ち抜く君ハーブとにかく君は Don't cry, don't cry 遊びじゃ論外 This is real war game わかったgot it 了解した bitch I be on it わからないこと I don't really trip about it 犯罪者のこと I don't fuck with that What to do, what to do, what to do What the fuck you want Who am I, who am I, who am I You know where I'm from But I don't know where the fuck I be from I cannot believe what the fuck I become Pull up, pull up, pull up, pull up I be running wild 90, I'm the devil's child ありがとう bitch beat that pussy up I'm on the floor bitch nail to
Man, I'm like so torn on that piece because on the one hand, I absolutely loved it. I thought it was so visceral. I thought it was really, really, really smooth. The verses in particular and the voices themselves were really fun to listen to and very gritty and engaging. I absolutely don't care for the On Your Mark Get Set like choral section, but the verses themselves were really, really good. I felt like there was a a real quality in there of candidness, and sort of the sound quality was very cool and chill. I also really appreciate the background forward momentum. There's like EDM in there mixed in with the forward beat. That was really dope. And actually, I think it's a pretty good pairing between this and Yakuza 0. I was thinking to myself, like, would I listen to this if I was like out and about? It goes kind of hard. But I don't know. I wonder. Let me listen to the Yakuza 0 track really fast. Yeah, I mean, you know what's crazy is that this so the first part of this I was kind of like, okay, it's just repeating itself the whole time. It's a little bit boring. It's kind of repetitive. It doesn't really go anywhere. It's, you know, it kind of, my ears kind of tuned out a little bit. And then as we got into the guitar section, bum bum ya da da, that's when I really got sold on it. And I had not heard this theme before. Now I kind of want to go and start playing Yakuza 0 because I really enjoyed Yakuza Kiwami. This piece really feels desperate. This piece really feels lost. This piece really feels like, man, why did you turn into this? Like, what are you doing? I thought the other one told a story too, but I definitely think that this has more soul in it, if that makes sense. This has a lot more like passion in the playing, especially, and it feels much more like it's really taking us on a journey of like acceptance or like, man, I really don't have another choice, do I? Dum dum da da da, dum dum da da da. You know what I mean? It just hits. So I think it's gonna go to Yakuza 0 there. So we got ourselves Ultura's theme from Monster Hunter Stories 2 versus King Titan Extinction. Actually, that works really well from Ark Survival Evolved. Let's check out King Titan now from Ark Survival Evolved. Is it Evolved or is it Extinction? I think it's Extinction. Well, okay. It's from Ark. Damn. So vast, isn't it? Okay. I think the Ark theme is in here somewhere. So threw me off, sorry. Yeah, so I think that this piece is extremely expansive. Obviously, I do like Gareth Coker a lot. I think the music that they write is very, very good. And it's very expansive. It's very full stack choir just the whole time. It does get a little, not repetitive. It sort of starts to blend together a bit. And for the purposes of, I mean, I think like it's really about like recognizing something huge, like the sense of vastness and size and scale. And I think it does that really well. It's just very loud a lot. But for the purposes of this, let's see how it compares to Ulthura's theme from Monster Hunter Stories 2. They're so similar. So I just want to pause really quickly and just like, we shouldn't compare and contrast too much, but frankly, this has more variety and is automatically to me the winner of this. I want to keep listening to it, but just for the sake of explaining why, there's some real like twists and turns and moving in a direction and turning the corner and going in another direction. There's some interesting use of instrumentation. There's different instrumentation, so it feels less one note and more just it provides many different colors, and it's much more interesting to listen to. Oh, gorgeous piano. There it is. Let me get a little bit of a march in here. That's cool. I love that accent with the horn. That's cool right there. All right, this is phase 2 then. Now we have a different set of percussion. That's cool. Wow. Oh, that's nice. Love this forward momentum in the... Whoa! Enjoy the percussion here. Wow, I mean, yeah, it's definitely interesting, isn't it? I mean, it has a lot of variety laden within it. It takes a little while to get to the like main thrust of the oomph of it. I really appreciated that piece. I appreciated the variation really in the musical instrument choices. And while it sounds like traditional orchestral music, it still like has its own identity within it through like the motifs and through the different things. I mean, it feels very expansive in the same way, but there's some ebb and flow in there that's really nice. I definitely am going to give it to that particular piece. That one's really good. So next up is Kenna Bridge of Spirits, Corrupt Taro, and Stellar Blade Demo Crawler. Let's check out Corrupt Taro. Wow. Man, I love the taiko here. Love the flute especially. That has a lot of personality to it. Man, that brass in the back is sick. Nice pressing there. Wow. That's like healing. I should play this game. Yeah, actually, you know, in some ways that has a lot of similarities with Demo Crawler. Not in the Japanese instrumentation avenue of things, but certainly in the way that it has the tension and the power within it, and also just a little bit of discomfort and a little bit of like disgust, almost as if the thing that we're fighting is unnatural. Obviously, Corrupt Taro probably signifies something that feels like it's I played like 2 hours of this game, so I'm pretty sure I kind of know what this is. I don't know if it's at the beginning of the game, but all that to say, like, there is an inherent quality in that of edge, which I really appreciate, and I love the horns in the back. That said, Demo Crawler, I literally was just messaging with the composer of Demo Crawler today. I'm telling her how much I like it. But so let's listen and the way that Purnell slides and stuff, it's like, the way that she descends, oh my god. Phase 2. The motif of Stellar Blade here. Yeah. I mean, I'm sorry. Kenna is beautiful. It's divine. It was really lovely to listen to. But for for the scope of this particular, boss battle theme, boss, it's got to go to Demo Crawler. Sorry. Okay, so we've done the first string of this. Next up is Meta Ridley versus Shadow of the Colossus. For the purposes of this round, I won't be listening to the entirety of each track or most of each track. I'm just going to go off a feel and kind of just go there. The idea being what makes a good boss battle theme. Low key, the Metroid theme is scary. Fighting Meta Ridley with this playing in the background does cause a huge sense of fear. It's really unnerving, isn't it? All right, let's jump over to a despair-filled farewell. There's urgency in this. Ba-dum, ba-dum, ba-dum. I realize that both of these themes actually kind of lean into the same concept. Now, I think Shadow of the Colossus, the theme here is gorgeous, especially with the strings over top. I think it really lends itself to this feeling of like almost like breathlessness, a feeling of loss, a feeling of like, how do I process this? How do I move through this difficulty? It's incredibly challenging. There's a feeling of tension in there and desperation that I really like. Well, despair-filled farewell. That being said, I think that Meta Ridley being frightful and scary and intense and having that crunch and synthetic sound, I think Meta Ridley wins out on this particular listen. So I'm going to give that one to Meta Ridley. Next up is the grand finale from Mario & Luigi Bowser's Inside Story versus Chrono Trigger World Revolution Lavo's Second Form. It's actually a great matchup. I'm curious to see. I'm going to start with Mario & Luigi first. Yeah, I mean, I really like the strings doubling with the voice there with the piano. I think that the emotion in that is so palpable. Again, it's that feeling of like, come on, Mario, you can do it. Like, get up. It's really like that. However, I love that piano so much. The trumpet. Yeah, that song is like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Like it's got two sides of a perfect coin. It's like you want your like peanut butter, you want a little salt. Well, you got the all these different chords. You also have the organ that plays in there quite a bit. You feel a sense of stress. You feel this real like low brass in there. Then if you want the flip side, you want that sweet goodness. You get the trumpet, beautiful melody, heroics, really inviting. It says like, come on, we can do this. Like there's a real rallying cry behind that trumpet. It's like just a delightful melody. Yeah, no, it's a clear winner. So that's fun. I'm looking forward to that matchup here in a bit. Next up, we have Lady Maria of the Astral Clock Tower from Bloodborne, and we have Daisuke Kuze from Yakuza 0. This will be interesting. Let's check out Daisuke Kuze first. What a sick song. I really love that guitar there. It's just so like, whoa, you've changed. Like, who are you? What have you done? Like, how can you possibly want to, you know what I mean? It feels like a real betrayal. Now, Lady Maria has a lot of betrayal in it as well, but I mean... Terrific pulse in this too. It's taste, right? It's Lady Maria. I mean, what am I gonna do? It's Lady Maria. The pulse, the incredible choir, the richness of the texture. I mean, like, I really like that Yakuza piece, but I mean, that's like chicken and waffles. And Lady Maria is like a steak with, you know, beautiful mushrooms and stuff. Next up is Altura theme, Surging Lights of Hope and Despair from Monster Hunter Stories 2, and Stellar Blades Demo Crawler. It's dope though. So triumphant and tense at the same time. It's just really like awakening, coming alive. That's gorgeous piano. Wonderful syncopation there. Ya da da ya. Ta da 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 da. Like it's like Altura, now it's like a moth, so it like bursts out of its cocoon or whatever. It's a really like triumphant sort of like, it feels like it's probably an elder dragon that like shouldn't have been born and chose to be born anyway. It's delightful in that way. It's a really good heroic boss theme where it borders on characterization like Mizutsuna's previous theme, but not quite. Let me check out Stellar Blade again. It's just a good boss theme. You know what I mean? Like that old Tura theme has a lot of heart in it, and you can hear that. But I think for me, I'm looking for something that's like a boss theme, like something that really digs in and makes you feel a bunch of different feelings of fear and tension and some hope maybe, but like there's a real like, So I think that's going to go to Stellar Blade. This is going to be really interesting because we have Metroid Prime, Meta Ridley, Chrono Trigger, World Revolution, Lavos, Second Form, Stellar Blade, Demo Crawler, Bloodborne, Lady Maria of the Astro Clock Tower. Here we go. The spooky, like metaphysical, you know, robotic, cybernetic sci-fi sound just clears so much for me. There's like real crazy dissonance in there as well. It just is off kilter. It's like borderline a horror game at that moment. Oh, okay, and then Chrono Trigger, World Evolution. I'm just gonna fast forward a little bit. This too. Chrono Trigger does everything that Meta Ridley does, but also slightly elevated, I think. And it adds that beautiful trumpet solo, trumpet solo that I think really, really adds so much flavor to this. It's got positive, negative, danger, positivity. It's a really well-rounded piece, a terrific piece. So that's my choice there. Chrono Trigger, World Revolution, Lavo's second form. Now we've got Stellar Blade, Demo Crawler versus Blood. It's like picking my favorite child. Okay, let's take a listen.
The phantoms entwined, invisible chains of despair and constrict the world. Very hard, crowded by mama's grave, found in a thousand longings. The azure of mind is torn and sublimed by torments. This nightmare train, the soul is wrought. The chanting choir of chaos, obstacles from the depths of the miracle.
And now Bloodborne. It's just got a virility and a real power in it that's really hard to explain and put into words. The way that the choir ascends in this section, it just is such a monumentally evocative moment of elegant violence that I think transcends Demo Crawler, even though Demo Crawler is incredibly good and it has this beautiful singing, and the like sort of the deformity kind of comes through in that boss. It's a really good boss theme. I remember I was playing Stellar Blade. My jaw was slack, just wide open when this section happened. But it goes to Lady Maria. I knew this was going to happen. So now we've got World Revolution, Lavos, Chrono Trigger, Bloodborne, Lady Maria. So much desperation in that piece. Like it's not just optimism, it's not just danger in the moment. There's also like a sense of desperation. Like it really gets that sense. Obviously it's a final boss, but it really gets that sense of like, look, like this is it. Like this is the last opportunity we have to save this whole world. Also the sound wave from the left to the right, you really feel like the stakes of it all is massive. I love that dissonance so much. Da, da, da. Bow, 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 hit. the slow roll into. I mean, maybe it's like, you know, the whole former opera singer turned YouTuber, but I mean, yeah, it's Lady Maria. I mean, how could it not be? How could it not be? Now, I know that the whole piece isn't the first 5 minutes, but there's something so painfully visceral about this whole thing. And then on top of that, you also launch into this like anguish and like a resonance, a recognition of wrongdoing, and there's so much agony in the sound. It's just like such a visceral, violent, powerful, mournful, sorrowful, brutal, terrific piece of music. This was so much fun. I loved listening to these boss themes and arbitrarily putting them in a battle between each other. Thank you so much for the actually to one of my mods, Deersley, for coming up with the idea, and also this tournament bracket that was able to really do some really pretty awesome matchups totally randomly. So it was a great time. If you want more, definitely let me know who you would have picked to have win this in the comments below. Definitely check out more on the channel, and as always, thanks a ton, and I'll see you later.